There we go. Good morning, everybody. Um, this is going to be a lot of the same stuff that we've been watching the last couple weeks. Just kind of overviews of what's been moving and what we've been watching for the last, you know, uh, last 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. Good morning, Stone. Yes, I am streaming to YouTube this morning as well. Um, yeah. So, um, there was a lot of education going on, Stone, this weekend. Hopefully, you've caught some of it. And if not, then we've added that to our next level library for yearly members. So you can rewatch all of those. I know, right? Good. um, yeah. So for those of you on YouTube that are curious, I use a strategy called supply and demand, and use the 15 EMA and some CCI magic. Um, and today, I'm still keeping an eye on our some of our watch lists from yesterday. Not so much MRAM as much as IO and Q and INM. INM, I'm waiting for it to see if it comes down to this $1.58, $1.56 area. See if we get like a quick flush and a potential pop based off of that level there. We might see a little bit of a retracement. Um, And if that retracement turns into a reversal and a continuation, then great. But I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket because usually when this thing pops up, it looks like it gets wicked down and then kind of held down. But the nice thing is that we did pop above the 15 on some pretty good strength. So the expectation usually is that we will see some retracement, and then a potential hold, and then a reversal and a continuation. So they don't always go back up. They retest the base of those candles, those mother candles. And my job is to try to find where it's going to potentially bounce from and see if it turns into a continuation. So I know, right? Other things that are on the list right now, VOSO just popped up 12% on some news, which isn't great news. It's just pre-market gainers news. So somebody's watching it. I don't know if there's anything behind it. Actually, when I'm on my scanner, I just click the little person. If you click the little person, yeah. All right, that's exciting. So something that I'm watching for on this one is you can see that we've got a nice big move up, and then we've been kind of doing the normal cat and mouse game with the 15 EMA, and we did that nice little drop right here to previous demand, and now we flagged right on top of that 15 EMA. So it doesn't look like anything on a normal chart, but the Hakanashi chart kind of helps clear some of that up, and kind of helps you see little patterns that might be developing. And along with the CCI confirmation on that flag, you could potentially look at that as a pop to VWAP, if not just a little bit higher to like 1180. I've been liking the Hakanashi more and more, just for reference. I don't trade off of it typically, but on something like this, it doesn't make any sense to me. Switching over to that helps me identify flags a little bit better because this just looks like garbage right here. But if you look at it on a Hakanashi chart, it actually looks pretty clean. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's not a study, it's a setting, it's a style. So you can go to settings and go to appearance and change your chart type from candle to the Heikin-Ashi, and it just kind of helps clear things up a little bit. If you're having a hard time with with identifying bull flags, this will kind of help you focus on those. It what it does is it calculates the previous candle and it averages them out and smoothens everything so it turns like this into this. So uh, I've been watching LAZR on a 2 minute Heikin-Ashi for the last couple days, and you can see that when we change trend, you get those bear flags back to the 15, and then continuation, bear flag to the 15, continuation. So it just makes it a little bit cleaner uh, visually rather than looking at something like this. I can't trade off of this though because it doesn't give real price value because everything's calculated an average. So I still use this as my main trade. I just glance over at this. I just glance over at it to see what's happening. So it's like if you're looking for patterns and you're uh, looking for those bull flags, I mean, how clean does that look compared to that? All right. So that was a nice. Not yet, but I can. Highest looks like it's got the highest volume almost on the day. CRDF. We gapped up from nowhere. Yeah, there it is. So they just got a 15 million equity investment from Pfizer. Um, that's where that pop came from. Yeah. I'll go ahead and throw it on the grid though, just to kind of keep an eye on it. RDF. Um, we might find some bounce opportunities, or it could just go sideways since it was just an equity investment. BTB. BTB was one that I was. Oh, you know what? I had a chart, an alert go off yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Nice. I can't find the alert. I put it in our chat yesterday too. Must not have been that important. It's not really great for YouTube when everybody's looking for me to build a watch list, but yeah. All right. Well, um, I'm still watching from this week. We've been watching SPI and NCLH, IONQ. I don't think I'm going to mainly watch GGPI today or MRAM. I think I'm going to replace that with EYPT. EYPT's been trending pretty nice. You can see it's already high. We did exactly what I was looking for. Came all the way back down, retested the 15, and I missed it on that hammer to the 15. And very, very disappointed that I didn't even notice that, because there's another stock that did that on me this week. And its name is P. I think it's PINC. On a daily. You can see where I was watching this here. This is my trade idea from Sunday, and we came back hammered right near the 15, and then we took off $3 and kind of went without me. Yeah, I've got a slew of stuff that I'm that I was watching for, but after you sure like that momentum scanner, don't you? Yeah. That's nuts. 5 monitors. I'm pretty jelly. Yeah, I could stand to have 2 or 3 more monitors. I wouldn't mind that. I'm just trading on 2 different platforms, so it's like it would be useful to have my main platform in front of me that I'm trading live in, and then my TOS charting. All right, so let's get back to the show. I've been building some new scanners that I've been kind of excited about, so I'm hoping to release those in the next couple days. Hopefully next week, put it in the next level library for you guys. So iSun had earnings, and it's got news. Great. Another earnings play. Just got to wait for it to shake out, give some structure. Can't just grab it. Yeah, they could sell it off hard if they wanted to. For sure, they could be using that news to ramp it up, get everybody excited, and then sell into it. Because I don't have anything. Yeah, thanks, man. All right, let's go over some supply and demand then, since we don't have anything that we can trade on it right now. Just waiting for it to come back down to a level that we could deem necessary. We popped up to $12. Supply and demand. We've got this institutional looking candle here, and you had a gap up there. So you could essentially mark that whole level out between that candle close and then that candle open. Or I'm sorry, backwards. And that level is going to be where you're targeting it, somewhere inside of that level. If you want to get a little more granular on the daily, you could mark out the body as well. And the reason why this is significant, even though um, there's nothing over here for price, usually I'll talk about the face of the mountain. If you're looking at the face of the mountain, you're using that for a price action. Um, this candle opened higher than this candle closed for me. So, and it's also the first pullback in this previous high. So that first pullback of a previous high is always going to be significant for me. And then you've got this weird candle open and close. You can look down here. You've got kind of a gap level with 1136. You can mark that level out. And then you've got that body there. And then right there, that whole everything kind of confirms right there for 1089. So if we do reverse, you could imagine that you're going to have some issues getting through that level, and we can keep trucking along here and see if we get any kind of reversal signals. We can mark out this. We're already over all that. So the daily chart that doesn't show the gaps from pre-market. So you have to have another chart open that shows pre-market. So you can see where price went to. It went to $12. It doesn't show on the daily. So you've got to use intraday chart and then go to the daily chart, or you guys know my favorite, the hourly chart. Especially if I can get price action in that time frame, which it looks like we can. Yep, looking for the gaps and looking for institutional looking candles, control candles, and looking for triple wicks. Don't really have any of that other than a couple gaps here and there. I don't see any triple wicks. I don't see a whole lot of control. There's one there. Not a whole lot there. Not even a lot of wicks on the tops here. So pretty much everything that we marked out on a daily looks pretty good on the hourly. You could think that this right here is a triple wick. You've got 1, 2, 3 here on the confirmation down. So 1194. We can look over here, and that's what I was saying too the other day, was if you're looking at a time frame that you can't decipher because you're in just a very steady descent, it's really hard to pick out levels if you're just in a steady descent, or if it's just up and down and just like very very noisy. You can always switch to the higher time frame to try to clear some of that up, especially if you're looking at a 2-minute chart. Flip over to a 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart. All those levels will be significant at one point or another. So let's hop back over to a 2-minute chart and see what's going on with this thing. So we took a pause at the 9. We just broke below the negative 100 CCI, and we're trying to break back above it. The 14 is also trying to stay above the 0 line, and this negative 20 is below the 50, or right at the 50. So you've got kind of like a 1, 2, 3 potential pop, but I don't care for it. I don't need to buy it. You could buy that, and then your target would be this first bottom wick, 1078. But take that back. First target would be right here. 1078 would be a second target. So this would kind of protect your downside from, yeah, yeah, because it opened higher, even though we're descending. There's no reason for it to jump up and then come back down. It's kind of like they're showing you, hey, look at this spot. And then because this was such a hard sell off, I'm only looking for a retest of the previous high. I don't even expect it to come all the way back up to the previous high. So to guard myself even more, you could take the other half off of um, your shares and let the last like 1/4% or quarter ride and see what it does. I'm not buying this though, but yeah, yeah. So you could look at this bounced right on the 9, and then we got a little bit of sentiment, like a little pop here, but price is still kind of coming down. And sometimes what'll happen is this will flag, and then we'll get a retest and do a higher low on CCI, and this will be on the 15 EMA. So that's divergence. And if that can close right on the 15 EMA on the 100 with a higher low, that could be reason enough to take a potential stab at it right there. We can also look at the 1 minute chart and see if there's any gaps anywhere, which there really isn't until we get down there to 920s. But that would be the potential. Yeah, the negative 100 on the woods. Hmm. Potentially for a bounce. Yeah, on a yeah, and then that's how I play those scalp plays on a daily chart, or not a daily chart, but a intraday chart. But with this, we don't know what kind of structure it's forming yet. It hasn't really showed its colors if it's just selling off. But usually when it pops up like that, right to a whole dollar, I'm not really sure if they're just going to sell it off, but usually they come back up and confirm that they don't want to take it any higher, or if they're trying to hold it somewhere, or if this is somebody's target, they're trying to exit. They haven't exited yet, so they need to bring it back and finish their exit. You see, um, I'm just tracking something. Like it's just very strange that it hits an actual whole dollar, not a penny more, not a penny less. So it's like an algorithm or something. Somebody stepped in, has a perfect calculation out there somewhere to stop it right on a dime. So that doesn't make much sense. So let me see what else is on some scan on that watch list that we've been looking at. That one's not ready. It's still pop because we reclaimed the 15 and we've got a potential buy trigger, but um, I'm not I'm not ready yet. IO and Q though, that thing is still. I should have been watching this one. Um, Same thing here. You've got a wedge, and you've got test, test, test. Usually, right around here, you get a deeper test, and we never got that. But we do have just kind of like a triple bottom here on CCI. We have uh, I don't really have anything there either. We just have it's just following price. So there's no divergence. There's nothing really right there yet. But usually what I do is I'll watch for a pop over the 15, and then we'll watch for those patterns to develop for potential entry signals. There's just not a whole lot there that I would have felt good just grabbing it. But let's go ahead and look at the targets on it. One hammer, two hammer. We've got another 30 seconds till this candle closes. We can watch how this one closes. We have new warning signs though. So we've got to watch these levels now. That was a pretty good close. And it'll just take a pause every time it hits one of those. You'll see that it just wicks back a little bit, then it'll pop up, wick back just a little bit, pop up, wick back just a little bit. Yeah, so like right here, you get the 9 test. You see this a lot. You see the 9 test, it comes down, we pop back above it on a couple of hammers. I'm looking for the confirmation, and we come back down. We double bottom almost the same spot, but then we crossed the CCI on this hammer close, and that was a potential long signal there to take that position. Now that we've got one hammer, two hammer, and the CCI is now up and this is lower. See how that kind of wicked lower, but the momentum is higher. So we started to gain momentum on that close to cross back over the CCI. So now we're looking for that entry on the close of that hammer on the 15, and we're still looking for a push through these levels, potentially back up to 1080s. But like I always tell you guys, during trading is always take your profits on that first pop, that first push, to protect your downside. So that way, if you did take an entry on one of these long signals, that it's not just a bear flag, because it doesn't have to be a reversal. It can just be a bear flag. And if you don't take your profits into that push, especially below 10, it's that $10 whole level. If you don't take your profits, then the chance of it coming back down and below this pivot point is pretty likely. So if you took your profits and you put your stop below this pivot, then it's still a free trade. And we're looking for potential confirmation even still. Confirmation that this level is going to hold. Yep. So just like supply and demand, you're looking for demand. Right now, this is the first sign that this this could be a demand spot. So you're looking for this level to potentially act as a base. So you've got a candle down, you've got the body of this hammer, you've got a 2-minute candle right here that's closing in 20 seconds. We'll see if we get a close and then a potential pop. Yeah. There's a close. Close right up into this previous zone. So that's a potential buy there. And then watch for the continuation. Just kind of stinks that we're below the 9. Like, it's hard to buy when it's kind of pinching between the 9 and the 15, because I view that the 15 as being a little bit stronger support, but the 9 also acts as resistance. And if you took that candle close, then your stop is way down here. So you have to size appropriately to be able to sit through that potential pivot, because you could still retest below this wick. So really the stop would be below this wick if you're trying to be extra cautious. It's not going one level up. When you hit a target, you hit a target. Yeah. So I'm not looking for like waiting for the candle close to take my profits, because sometimes you'll get wicked out. Like you'll be in and then phew, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking at selling on green candles and buying red candles. James and I talk about it all the time in here. Buy red candles, sell green candles. Sounds weird. It's very counterintuitive. It's like, how do I know this is the last red candle? this this kind of gives you, highlighting these levels kind of gives you that idea that, hey, look, this candle closed inside that zone. So this has potential to go up. So that would be a red candle buy. Or if you were really bullish on it, you could buy the test of this hammer right here, knowing where your levels are, your 2-to-1 ratios, your 2-to-10 ratios. Yes. Yep. I think I can't see because it's blue. Yeah, I don't know. Candle color really doesn't matter. Just like this could all be white, and they're still telling me the same story. You're just looking for candle closes and levels, candle bases, and your EMAs, and your targets. They could all be white for, whatever reason. I'll even do a couple. Yeah. This is on YouTube for a little bit, and then we'll be taking it down, and then we'll have it for yearly members to rewatch whenever. So that's an example of the bull flag, where you take your profits, and then if you're bullish on it, if you're at least all the way out, hopefully you're still in on like a quarter share or like a tenth of a share. This could be retesting below this level, freaking everybody out, and then potential reversing back up. Can you guys hear that fan in the background? So, what do we talk about in the room? Once we've done a 2-minute strategy, we switch to a 5-minute strategy. If that plays dead, we go to our 5-minute and see how our 5 minutes going to line up. If everything lines up good, which right now it really isn't, then we could potentially see a 5-minute bounce. That happened at 9:29, and on our 1-minute chart there was a gap, or not a gap, but just a candle open at 9:02 and 9:15. So we'll see. Catching the knife is fun sometimes. As long as you have a... Okay. That's awesome. You'll have to show me some of those settings on see if I can get mine to smoothen out a little bit. That's funny. Boop. Pop. So that was what I was waiting for on GGPI. This little cross, and we're in bullish territory this whole time on the 20 CCI, and I was waiting for this trade signal. And that now that we're above the above the 15 on a 2-minute, that's what I was waiting for. And then we got that pop, and now we're retesting VWAP, and everybody knows how I feel about VWAP. So I won't even mention that for our YouTube folks. If you guys want to know how I feel about VWAP, you have to join us. Yeah, this is a pretty hard spot right here. We've got trend line. This is a trend line break. This is automatically calculated based on that for some reason. Don't really know why it chose that. So let's... Yeah, I can't buy it here. I would need a pretty good twist of the arm. All right, I've got my standing meeting now. I didn't realize what time it was. So I'm going to have to go dark for a minute. All right, I'm back. um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and close this first stream out. We I have My mouse stopped working. So I need to try to figure out what's going on with that so I can be ready for you guys during the market open. I'm going to be streaming during the market open as well to see if we can find uh, some good stocks to trade. See if we can find some trends to get long term runs, and then potentially find some reversals. So I will be back in a few minutes after I get this situated.